we're very, very happy today to have on Mary and Brad Ballard, and I want them to give a little bit of a history to you. So, Brad, I'm going to start with you. If you can tell everybody, first off, where you and Mary live, where you're located. So that's number one. And then number two, how long you've been at Supreme. This will be a fun one for everybody.
Okay, Mary and I have lived and worked at Oakland Park Boulevard in A1A for the last 25 years. So obviously, condominium financing is very imperative to our existence, right? For that. And we joined Supreme Lending in early May. So I think it was right on Cinco de Mayo. So, like 90 to 120 days in, obviously we've been able to take real advantage of some of these tools that we've been offered at Supreme.
Yeah, and
You know,
how many years, Mary, have you guys been in the business?
I started in 2001.
And Brad, was it the same
I
time?
was in title before that, but I've been in title and mortgages the last 30 years down here. So this is all we know.
Yeah, so long time, very long time. I always joke about my journey with Mary and Brad that they pretty much put Scott and I through the Senate congressional hearing before they came here, and they got a blood sample, a bone marrow sample from us before joining, which I love the fact that you vetted us out so hard. Prior company, you were there for how long?
15 years.
15 years.
So pretty
So
much
that
since
gives-
NMLS was invented.
That gives everybody a little bit of a feel for the depth and the length in the industry, the knowledge in the industry, the consistency, and then also just how long prior company. And it was hard for you guys to move because, again, it was such a shift for you. What I want you to talk about, just give everybody a feel, again, doesn't have to be exact, but just kind of what you're running now, closed units a month. So they have an idea of your, again, volume is volume, and it's different all over the country based on loan amount. So I'm a unit girl. I like to go with units because I think it tells people a little bit more of the story. So what are you guys running now unit wise a month from a closing
9 to
perspective?
15. Busier in July, a little slower. We're always dead August, September, but 9 to 15 a month. This month we're 10, probably about 10 altogether. But next month is already gearing up, hoping to get 3 condo contracts today.
Yes,
Yay.
yes, yeah. So that's where we want to start. We're gonna be talking about condos primarily, but we're also going to jump into reverse and DSCR. So I would love, Brad, for you to start out just from your perspective, what has happened with you and Mary regarding the growth in the condo world coming to Supreme.
This has just been such a great opportunity for us. One thing about, as you mentioned, us requiring blood samples, one thing about when you vet every single lender in the United States, when the Ballards did make a decision, boy, we jumped in with both feet, right? Because we were given the opportunity to speak to Jim Mahalik and his condo team.
I see
prior to
Jim.
joining.
Jim's on. Welcome, Jim. Keep going, Brad.
This to us, not that we needed a ton of reassurance, but of course, after speaking directly to him, I used to think Mary was the top person in this space. No disrespect, Mary. Jim just offered us a whirlwind and a myriad of solutions and enthusiasm. So we actually had gotten a lunch. Coincidence.
Within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks of joining Supreme. So we were speaking to, I think you, Sarah, and you said, well, we'll fly him in there for you. And sure enough, the next thing I know, Jim was down here. We were having lunch and we were gearing up for this presentation, which absolutely just made us so credible in that environment. But, right now, I think in South Florida, Florida condominiums in general, there's no more fear from our end. We were forced to broker out a little bit, too much at our last place, a lot. Now we're just ready to go. We know what we need. We know what his team needs. We're utilizing his team to the fullest. And right now in this market, with the way that the condo documents are always changing, right? The master insurance changed last month. It's no longer Fannie Mae approved. When we can turn around an association that's only, and Mary will get into the specifics of this in a moment, but when we can turn around an association that's only eligible for non-QM, turn it around to Freddie or Fannie. One, that's a call I want to make. I love making the hero call, right? Hey, guess what? We're able to get your buyer this in this type of market. Worst case scenario, if you don't flip it over, you've demonstrated to that agent, we go the extra mile here, right? Spot approvals, try it. What do you have to lose in this type of market? And as we've seen, again, in this market, the 250 to 350 condo market in South Florida, that's still moving. It's still moving. That market is not as affected by rate. They're not worried about the class. So really just utilizing his team as a springboard for new business, it's opened up so many avenues for us. Yeah.
So Brad, when you think about it for the people on the call, if they haven't taken the leap, many of them I know have, and I think again, we continue to keep talking about Jim Halleck and his team. And, I like you, Mary, I thought I had a pretty good condo team before. And I just continue to say it over and over and over. Jim is an absolute secret weapon for us.
Yep.
He's somebody that if you have the opportunity to work in the condo space, you need to spend time with him and his team and get your basics kind of, under your belt, and then go after it. And what I loved also about what you guys did, Cinco de Mayo, you just leaped in. You didn't.
Yeah, we did.
You did. You leaped in and you just said, we got to get Jim here. And not to poor Jim, I'm like, just, hold the gate here. But to have Jim there and to present for your realtors and your referral partners, I think was pretty amazing. So Brad, I'm gonna come back to you, Mary, in just a second. But Brad, when you think about just what you would recommend from a sales aspect. So we're gonna have, and I see your son on here. Hi, Bradford. Bradford's part of their team too.
Yeah.
What would you
from
recommend?
From the sales aspect, name recognition right now, we took 2 calls this morning just because we've put out there that we've closed in specific projects, right? They know the Ballard team can close at the Colonnades. And really, we came back from the revival so revived with rates dipping down. I've been pounding my past clients like everybody else, right? But really where it creates is I need to do more dialing to the listing agents that are in these buildings to let them know that we have these financing options that we just created. That's a real great springboard just to let people know about it. Maybe they don't know about Supreme Lending and what we can do. It's an easy phone call to make, and we just want to get it so that anybody on the east side of town, if you need a condominium, call the Ballard team, right? They may have a solution right then and there. That name recognition is what I'm counting on Supreme really driving us with, and I know we can deliver it.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. And then every building that you have that's kind of in your portfolio that you're aware of or not aware of, how do you figure out, is it something we can do? Like you said, is it a spot approval, or is it, because I know you all had told me in July, Mary, you guys closed 9 condos of your total closings. And I asked you this just straight up when we were at Sales Rally. Of the 9, how many of them were you able to do that you couldn't have done before?
So there were 4 that I didn't think we were going to be able to do, or I thought I was going to have to flip non-QM. One thing that I'd like to sort of educate, I know if you're in Florida, you probably look at a building and it's under construction and you think we can't close in there. Well, with Jim's help, you can, and there's a good chance you can go conventional. But you just have to know, our new condo writers helped, but you have to know where the building is in its construction process. Is it at the beginning, at the middle, at the end? If it's middle to the end, Jim is a valuable resource, right? We were on board, I think, a day or two, and we're at Galt Ocean Mile, and we were invited to speak. And I was sitting there thankful that I was so glad that I had joined with Supreme. And I'm like, hey, I wonder if I could get Jim on Zoom. Jim was on vacation. I emailed him from my Gmail and he responded on because it said out of office. I'm like, maybe I'll find out Monday. He responded within 30 minutes and said, no, that's a better presentation in person. Let me get down there and attend with you guys. We were like, okay. So my suggestion, if you have any type of city, neighborhood group, neighborhood association with a bunch of condos, like organize a meeting or get involved in those meetings and then have Jim come present with you. It's amazing.
Yeah, Brad, coming back to you just for a minute, if people on here have not dove into the deep end with condos, what would you recommend for them? And then Mary, I'm asking you the same question after Brad answers. What would you recommend for them how to get started with Jim and the condo group?
Right.
Because some people are like, I don't even know what you're talking about with regards to.
Just before I forget, we offer jumbo condo financing, right? Jumbo condo financing, which brokers really don't even have access to, right? So we've started a lot of relationships by people. We joke around, we're in a storefront here. We joke around that every Monday someone walks in that was supposed to close with an out-of-state bank. They're out the appraisal, they're out the condo questionnaire, they're spitting fire. Right. We start off a lot of relationships taking, associations that maybe someone doesn't want to do a deep dive into, like Jim, or, do that. And if you can turn it around that way, but just really touting, condo teams should be more than one person, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people say,
Yeah.
oh, we have a condo team and it's Ted, in the back there,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's not
So I
No.
think really just from a marketability standpoint on what we're adding value to the agents, come to us at the beginning. When you come to the expert at the beginning and not get cracked at the end of the transaction that they didn't look at this or they didn't know they didn't have a 40-year. Just the programs that we have access to and the knowledge of Jim's desk is going to save a lot of people pain and heartache in the process because we're going to get to it at the very beginning. We're going to scrub it hard. We're going to let them know what it is right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I love my favorite saying. One of my favorite sayings in the business is take the time up front. So you don't have to take 10 times the time in the end to fix it. Mary, what would you recommend from, an operational excellence? Because you do such a great job just making sure you have all the docs for people to understand what they need to do, what they need to learn from the start of a condo contract.
So somebody just shouted,
Oh, your speaker. There you are. You're back. Go ahead. Mary, hold on. Say that again. Your speaker popped off for a second.
Can you get the condo approved before the borrower makes the offer? That's what Denise. So yes, you can, but sometimes that's easier said than done. I know in Florida, our legislature just changed. And so now when you go under contract, the seller must provide milestone inspection, reserve study, budget, and anything applicable in between. So for me, of course, we all start with the budget, but for me now, that's probably the least of my concerns. I start with the master policy, the budget, the reserve study, and the most recent engineering or structural report. And now they do all have that in Florida. And per the recently passed law, they must give it to the seller who gives it to the buyer's agent and now us. So in Florida, our job is a little bit easier now because these are required documents that all associations must provide. So
got it. I want Matthew, if you could unmute Jim Mihalik, I would love for him to also answer that question because I know you have, Jim, you've worked with over and over and over brand new people to Supreme that are brand new to the space of condo. What do you recommend? And also if you can touch on NPS and what they do to support your team from the processing and pulling all the docs in.
So, and I probably meet with an LO or a branch once a week, if not twice a week, that is just coming into the Supreme. So, yesterday, Trevor, and I had a meeting with a realtor branch. The main broker is a selling agent, but the rest of the realtors were buying agents. And believe it or not, they were really surprised that we can review a condo prior to Trevor, our loan officer, taking an application. They thought, oh, he needed to be locked and loaded with a bar and all that. And I said, no, bring us the condo docs as soon as you see that buyer is interested. And they were all floored. And they said, no, we're okay by getting a questionnaire that's $200 to $400 rather than us losing our earnest money. And we had a group of 10 realtors on yesterday, I believe. And so
Wow.
it's just getting that the information, the knowledge out there, not only to loan officers, but to realtors. So anytime, I invite you to coordinate with me and our team to have a one-on-one session for an hour, and then let's bring on, maybe you have a strong realtor partner out there, and let's bring them on. Let's educate them. This was in California, so we really focused on SB 326 and the balcony repairs, the inspections. We also looked at Redfin, which it's equal to MLS, and how they can, the realtors, how they can explore from their perspective when they have a buyer, other condos in the area. And then I really connected them with Trevor. So if they do have an address and a zip code that their buyers are looking at, they're going to communicate that with Trevor. So it's an open dialogue now between the realtor partners and a dedicated loan officer. They can resource and really add value to their business as buyer agents. So to create that relationship and to fortify it with that loan officer and that branch, it's very valuable. And we welcome everybody to give us a ring, knock on the door, and we can do that for you guys.
I'm telling you, I think about it, and Brad, this is again, Bradford. I would love to know his thoughts on this too, but I think about this. If I am a new loan officer to the business, I would hook my wagon to Jim Halleck, and I'm in an area, obviously, where I'm surrounded by condos. All I would do would be market to every single agent, to your point, Jim, from the condo perspective, because number one, you have Jim and his team, you have NPS that could support you from the processing, collecting the docs, you have the presentation acumen and professionalism and skills with Jim, right, Brad, Mary, and I would just go, and again, age, youthfulness, whatever. Agents don't care if they can't get their deals done. If you can get their deal done, and right, Bradford, I mean, he's nodding. He knows what I'm talking about. So if you're a newer loan officer, regardless of your age, I would make, people don't know any different. You can brand yourself as the condo queen. Mary and I joke all the time. She's the condo queen, and it's expanding your business. And I see what's happening, and I feel like you're just getting started, and this thing could go gangbusters and on into other states if you wanted to, right? On into other states. So thank you, Jim, for that guidance for them.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I want to segue to reverse. Again, whole bunch of tools, as you can tell. If you don't know where to start, call Jim, set a time, right, Jim, with his team, and get the basic understanding. And then they'll give you the guidance on the assets to start reading and understanding and getting educated on condos. But you can see what happens with Mary and Brad, and how it just makes me so happy, because during the Senate congressional hearing, I kept promising you, Mary, this is going to rock your world. It's going to change your life. It's going to be so much better. You're going to get more business. And I know you didn't believe me. And I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And we were we were competing against the biggest IMB. We're competing
We interviewed
against,
everybody.
yeah, cross country, fairway, you name it. And I'm like, no, I know what they don't have. And they don't have this. They don't.
don't have to.
Yep. It's they
If
may
I-
say they do, but they don't. So
If I could just
yeah, go
finish
ahead, Mary, please.
that thought, not to cut you off.
No, please.
Jim's team does allow you to, if you're working on a condo or you live in a condo, they allow you to upload all the docs, and you don't have to have a borrower. You don't have to have a buyer to get that condo approved. I feel like this is a whole different, deeper dive conversation. But if anybody wants to call me, please feel free to reach out on what I ask for and what I look for to. I usually kind of know which way the condo is going to go before I even get it submitted to them. So one thing, like, here's an example that Jim has taught me. Don't turn every condo-tel is not a condo-tel. Like, I think he's almost excited to take the W private residence here in Fort Lauderdale Beach and see if we can make it go conventional. I never, ever, ever thought that was a thing, but he's taught me that is a thing. So I already started, I'm not even under contract, but I know this borrower wants the W. So I have everything uploaded and ready to go. I'm just waiting on a contract. And even if the contract doesn't come through, their team is still gonna work on approval for me so that I can then go market it. So that's just an example of how Jim and them help you. And I didn't really think about that. And then I don't know if you guys know that, like, the top person at Fannie Mae calls Jim directly.
Wow.
When something gets cleared. I was here with him and he was so excited about somebody that was getting like $100,000 and he was able to make it happen. So it really, really, really does help, and it's extremely beneficial to get to know them and then utilize what you have. I can upload any condo I want and work on getting the approval and then go market it to buyers agents, listing agents. And I have done that and I am doing that.
I know you are, because you send to me what you
And don't be afraid if Fannie says unavailable. Don't be afraid of that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of no reserves. Don't be afraid of rec leases, land leases, and don't be afraid of investor concentration. Don't think you can't get those done. You absolutely can. And then one last thing, if the building does have structural, you can go non-QM1 or DSCR1 with a different condo questionnaire. Their lender specific condo questionnaire. It
That's so
doesn't
good.
ask any of the structural, and Jim is on point with that. So I'll just end with that.
Yeah. Well, here we got questions coming in, and I want to be respectful of the time, but I also just want to say, if you want to protect you, Mary and Brad and Jim, if you're interested in going in a deeper dive operationally, all of the different details that Mary's talking about, throw in the chat yes versus calling Mary directly and taking hours and hours of her time. What I'll do is set up, and I'm saying this to you, Emily, Romer, and Amy, and Matthew, we'll set up a 2.0 deeper dive, condo deeper dive. So just throw that in there and we'll get that set up, regarding what times you have open next week. So thank you. Right, Grant. I mean, this stuff is so good. Let's jump to reverse, because that's another area that you probably didn't really deep dive into that prior, from what I understand of talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had just done the regular FHA reverses. We didn't realize there was a jumbo reverse.
So what happened? So talk about that, Mary, because again, one of my favorite stories is this mega reverse loan you did. I was like, wow.
But it's just, I just wanted to finish on Jim Mahalik and his team saying, if nothing else, they provide such a positive energy in this. There's a lot of negativity in the world of condos right now. If people see you and you're infectious about condominium financing and embracing it, it really makes a difference in this marketplace. But we have to have a testimonial to John Luddy, the reverse specialist at Supreme. We got involved. I, for one, did not even know we offered a jumbo reverse because it wasn't previously offered to me. And we had a tough client. Boy, this client was a tough client. He came in our office. Realtor broker wanted to cash out with $1 million. He had his estimate from the other reverse guy. And I was like, John, help. I don't know these margins or these questions. And John said, just get them in your office, get them on a Zoom call.
And we did.
And we did. And that's what I did. I listened to him. He got him
Yeah.
in. He explained this from A to Z.
We would have told him the wrong product.
I would have told him the wrong product. I would have blown that deal. It closed because John took the time to get this borrower in there and educate me. I learned more on that reverse mortgage than I had done previously in this.
Yeah.
But the fact that we underwrite the other option in-house is a major advantage. And with everybody choking on debt in this country, we have a real market for reverse mortgages, especially here in Florida.
So
Yeah.
that reverse was $1 million cash in hand.
Yep.
$1 million cash in
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah. John is a guru. And this is another thing, again, you don't have to know everything. I think we come from places when, again, people at Supreme, I always tell them how spoiled they are because they've been here for so many years and they have Jim Mahalik and, they've had these things. But from our past, right, Mary, right, Brett, you come from the place where you had to know everything. You guys had to know everything. You didn't have the resident expert that could come alongside you. So the point to everybody is you don't have to figure it out. Get with John, make him, I've heard Ella say, man, I'm going to have you talk to our reverse specialist, John Luddy, and I'll be on the call with him and he can walk you through it. Because that's what you did, Brad. That's what you did with that borrower, right?
Yep.
And like you said, if you would have tried to do it, and it doesn't mean eventually you won't get there, you will. But until you do, why not utilize John as that, resident expert on your team? Go ahead, Mary.
He's done that. We just got one of our new Spanish speaking loan originators, Kathy. She just did close the reverse last Friday, and they helped her through the whole process, and now she's working on another one. So it's just utilizing the tools that we're given now, right? We're just given so many more tools at Supreme, and there's so many different products in house that I just feel like, just utilize the tools that you have and you're going to close more.
Yeah. Yeah. And John is the thing I will tell you, because I've been in the reverse space with some of the, headliners for many, many years over the prior companies. And John is such a helper. He's a helper. And that isn't always the case, right? I mean,
Those
Meredith
Jim,
does.
they both are.
It's just like everybody wants to help you. They want to see you succeed. They want to see you increase your business. They want to see you adapt into that product. And I know a lot of you were at the dating game in Dallas with us. And hopefully you saw that with Joe Jensen and Jim and Rob and, John Luddy, and you just will at least like take the bull by the horns and go, yep, riches and niches. I'm going to take this niche. Last niche I want the two of you to talk about is DSCR and non-QM, like how that's changed in your world too, as we wrap up.
So that's probably been, what have you done? Six something million, getting to 7. Half of that is DSCR, non-QM. Rob and I just, another LO, the last 3 loans are all non-QM and DSCR, right? Like that's a whole nother world. So don't 1 year tax return, but less than 5 years in business, it's okay. 1099, it's okay. 1099 in an LLC, it's okay. When we're doing with Rob, the primary wage earner, she's a 690, the spouse is a 630. Guess what score we're using? The wife, because she makes more money because we're showing another little side business, right? There's a lot of different things, and my little cheat is to read the other companies' emails, because we all get our guidelines and we get Rob's guideline updates, and we might just look at the guideline and be like, okay, I'm a loan scenario girl. I love to read loan scenarios. I read the other lenders' loan scenarios as they come in the email, and then I go to Rob Joy and, hey, we have that product. He goes, yep. I'm like, there you go. So don't say no.
Don't say no.
Don't say no.
DSCR options available.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple situations. A lot of
7.
different lenders only have 1 or 2 options, and that's when you bring in Rob Joy and say, hey, I got a DSCR in his own primary, and he'll be like, that's DSCR 5 or DSCR
Yeah.
4. So the options that we have, the expanded options, I mean, I almost feel like there's a home for every deal now that we
Yeah.
bring in, honestly. And if there's a no income, no ratio, I knew about this one product, Champions has a product. So really, that's the excitement, right, of the support that we've received at Supreme over this first 90, 120 days. It's just been categorically exceeded our expectations. And it motivates us to get more deals going. Now it's on us to bring in more business.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
I love it. I loved what you both just said. There's a home for every deal. You might want to brand that. It's like, there's a home for every deal. Thank you both
Yeah.
for being so willing to share openly. It's so fun to look at your Bradford and his smiling face. He's so proud of his parents right now. Thank you for sharing so openly. And I hope everybody took something from this, that there's a home for every deal. Don't say
Yeah.
no, like you
Don't
said,
say no.
Mary.
Right.
Don't say no. Come back, get with the helpers, because everybody wants to help you. And don't forget our deal desk. I mean, our deal desk is there for a reason to help you get started. And also be brave. Be brave and
Mhm.
pick up one of these products and just start marketing it. Get with Jim.
Learn it.
Yeah, learn it. Get with
Learn the
Jim.
details. Yeah.
Right, right.
Jared and
Absolutely.
Linda have been huge. Our underwriting, adding a Jared to the team, like he's really, really, really helped put together some non-QM deals. So just everybody involved is just so helpful. And we're
Yeah,
grateful.
if you don't know about Jared Longoria, Jared is like the savant of non-QM and DSCR, and he's out of California, and he has been added to as our specialist in that area, and he's another helper, and he's just right.
Mhm.
Steve's smiling.
Yes.
Steve knows exactly what I'm talking about. I know he's such a gem. And so get brave, adopt into one of these products and make it one of your niches and go get some more business because it'll really help you. So thank you. Oh, there's Jared. Jared's on. I know. We're sending
Hi,
our
Jared.
love to you, Jared. And Linda Quinto and the entire underwriting group. Amazing. Another just
Amazing.
incredible. Yeah, we're so lucky. We're so blessed to be here. Well, everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. God bless. Riches and niches. Go out there and get some more business and be blessed. Like we said, all we want to do is enrich your lives. And hopefully this helped a little bit today. So take care.
Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.